Hello, America. This is Dave Almgren with the Power of One podcast. Today is Thursday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2020. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to seeing 2020 in the rearview mirror and driving straight ahead as fast as I can to 2021 with the hopes that 2021 is going to be a different year, a productive year, a year of anything but what 2020 brought us. Now, granted, there was some good stuff that happened in 2020. Time with family, kind of slowing down and taking an inventory of what's important in life and um, fixing everything that needs to be fixed in the house with all the extra time. There was definitely some good that came out of 2020. But moving forward, just really looking forward to 2021 and getting back to work and feeling productive in a different sense. Love my family and the time we had to spend together, and I believe that forged some good stuff moving forward. So I would imagine you're feeling the same way about 2020 being in the distant past and 2021 being a bright spot in the future moving forward. So I'm solo today on this episode of the Power of One podcast. My co-host Jason Noble will be with us on the next episode. We've got some great guests lined up that we're going to be interviewing and sharing with you. And we're going to be sharing with you today an interview with a gentleman that a friend of mine, Gunnar Simonson, and I had the opportunity to sit down with a few years ago. We were working on a movie called The Lost Medallion, The Adventures of Billy Stone. Great family film. Check it out if you have the opportunity to do so. And this individual was one of the key characters in this particular movie. And we sat down with him, and his name is James Hong. Now, that name may not ring a bell to many or maybe most. But I'm showing the picture here up on the screen side by side. And as you see that, the picture of James, you'll go, oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy, the maitre d' from that episode in Seinfeld, or, oh, that guy in Big Trouble Little China, or the voice in Kung Fu Panda, or one of the voices in Kung Fu Panda, or one of the many movies with Chuck Norris, Humphrey Bogart, that James was a part of. I think over 500 films and TV and voiceover, well over 500 that he participated in some 60 years, a 60-year career. And this interview was done a few years ago, so he's well beyond 60 years in the business. So we came across this interview and thought I would share this with you on a wider platform now that we've relaunched or launched on a wider platform, actually, for the Power of One podcast with Dave and Jason. And I wanted to share this interview with you. It's about an 8-minute long interview, and I hope you enjoy it. We'll come back after the interview and debrief a little bit and sign off. But thanks for joining us on the Power of One podcast as we transition here to the interview with actor James Hong.
Well, I played various roles, and roles like in Trinity Goodheart, which was played on GMC channel. Um, it, those are the good parts that I play in the sense of being the nice guy and doing something with a message. Those are always helpful. It sort of like reminds you what films are all about and what films can do. And of course, for a livelihood, I do all the movies from Blade Runner and Chuck Norris. I worked with him and Charlton Heston. All these great actors, even dating back to Clark Gable. So it's been a wonderful career in Blade Runner, working with wonderful actors and directors in Big Trouble Little China and Golden Child, to name just a very few. So today is my, let's see, I forgot already, 84th birthday. So I'm born on George Washington's birthday, the real birthday, not the president's day. And so I've been in the industry, like I say, 60 years and done probably, I would estimate 500 films and TV features and TV episodes on camera. And that's not including the voiceovers I've done for Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, and maybe number 3 coming up. But certainly on the TV series, I've been on many episodes, and like, what's that? A lot of Disney things, like, forgot the name of it. These Disney things come quite often. So it's been just a joyful career. I started out as a civil engineer, mind you, back in 1953. After a year and a half of civil engineering, I gave it up because the films just kept pouring, and I said, I got to give it a try. So it's a lesson to be learned in life. You really have to pursue what you love, and that will dictate where you're going to go in your life. You know, I like to talk to the young people out there who are interested in acting or just the performing arts. Is there something about you that wants to perform, whether it's singing or dancing? You want to express your feelings. You want to perform. What else can I say? And that's the way I felt when I was growing up. But my parents, being very Chinese, wanted me to be either a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So I chose engineering. And I graduated from USC as an engineer. But that spirit of wanting to perform just made me pursue that route. So it goes back to what you want to do in life again. Of course, your desire plus your talent and your drive and your soul will determine where you're going to go. But you have to be true to yourself. You have to really want to do it and dedicate yourself, because I sacrificed a lot of playtime and just study and went to classes and perform on stage, whether it's pay or not, for the love of it, you know, to create. And because of those early experiences, I picked up a lot of knowledge here and in here. And now I use that whole wealth of experience in the art of performing, of expression. It's like painting. You can't just say, okay, here's a canvas, I'm going to put some paint on there. What's the paint? What are you doing? You know, you have to search to say, what have I got to say in life? And then say it in the way that you know how. Yeah, well, I hope you'll get a chance to see my new life documentary. It's called A Man of Thousand Faces at present time. And it's all about my adventure of being born in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I still have that Swedish accent. Yeah, I do. We come from Minnesota. We are good people. So, so the whole thing about Minnesota, and as a child, how I became an actor in church, of course, Pressminster Church. And from that time, it just kept on growing. So that's my documentary coming out very soon. And of course, if you want to find out everything about me, just go to my Facebook, James Hong page. I'll see you there. Bye.
That was a fun interview with actor James Hong, 60 years in the business. A lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, and parts of his story that were like, wow, I didn't know that. A fascinating individual and the kindest man you'll ever meet. We finished the interview, and since it was his birthday, he invited my wife and I out to dinner for his birthday celebration. And I'll show you a few pictures here of just the fun that we had hanging out with James Hong. I also want to share with you the trailer from his movie that I mentioned earlier, The Lost Medallion, The Adventures of Billy Stone. Um, we'll share that with you a few minutes here before we close out. Thanks for joining the Power of One podcast. We want to acknowledge one of our sponsors for this episode, kidsonearth.org. Kidsonearth.org is your headquarters for everything VeggieTales. If you're a fan of VeggieTales, and I know you may be thinking, yeah, a little bit older, I'm not a fan of VeggieTales. Well, you may have a child in your life that's a VeggieTale fan, a nephew, a son or daughter, or you know what, you might even be a college student and you're still loving VeggieTales. That's kind of how they got started years ago in 1993. Not only did kids love them, but parents loved VeggieTale episodes. So check out kidsonearth.org. It's kids with a Z for VeggieTale products featuring, and they got DVDs, music, plush, t-shirts, toys, all kinds of cool stuff. Larry mobiles, Larry Boy toys, balloons, birthday stuff, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. Our sponsor for this episode of the Power One podcast, kidsonearth.org, and that's kids with a Z.
Can you stay for a while?
Are you here to tell us a story?
A story? Okay, I've got a story.
Yes.
This story is called The Lost Medallion.
We found it!
He doesn't have the medallion.
Dad!
He's just a kid.
I lost my father over it. So did I.
You just stop it, okay? Just stop it!
This is a king.
Let her go.
First the medallion.
So now what do we do, Billy? We need your help.
I'll help you. Behold, the way to defeat the Cobra.
I am supposed to be served. I am king.
You're a jerk.
A true great king will find the courage to serve others.
My mom told me every day of my life that I was an accident.
Allie, you may have been an accident to your mother, but you were no accident to God.
Why would you die for me?
Because a great king once died for me.
I told you just to wish us back!
Billy learned that his greatest value came from God. And the most important thing he could ever do was to trust his heart to the one who created it.
My heart is my medallion.
Well, that was the trailer for The Lost Medallion, The Adventures of Billy Stone. And as you can see, it's an incredible film and a great family movie that I'm sure your families will thoroughly enjoy. So check it out wherever movies are streaming. James Hong does a great job as Felicia in the film. And as you can see, there's a few other familiar faces in this film. So again, check it out. Enjoy the movie as a family. And thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Power of One podcast with Dave and Jason. Jason will be with us on our next episode, and we've got some great guests lined up. So check us out on our channels, YouTube channel, as well as we're going to be posting all of our content on thehoffmanreport.com. So with that, signing off from the studio here in Portland, Oregon. Thanks for joining us. God bless you, and we'll see you in 2021.